all of us, on this very same day, across the entire Commonwealth, had press conferences focusing on getting additional funding for our schools. All of us, together, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Allentown, Pottsville, York, every little town, every borough, every big city decided that together we were going to focus on our kids, and we created a tremendous accomplishment. This year, as we worked together from around the state, we secured a 20% increase in local funding for our schools. $12.3 million additional that came into the Allentown School District. That was the second largest increase in the state of Pennsylvania, and we did it because we worked together. Now, these funds are going to greatly assist the district's plan to renovate and build new schools. You've seen it. William Allen, the annex is knocked down. Deerfield, they're building a $40 million addition. Jackson, they've knocked out a whole block next to it. This is critical. $143 million a year, $445 million over the next 5 years. The school board has been a tremendous asset to our city in focusing this amount of money into revitalizing our schools. Because when you put that amount, I'm not going to say that a new school totally changes the educational attainment or outlook within our children, but it does help, we have to admit. A new school helps our kids to learn. It gives them pride. It gives them pride in our community. It gives them pride within themselves. What message are we sending if our kids are going to William Allen where the paint is peeling off the walls and they take a trip to Parkland that looks like the Taj Mahal? We're sending a message that we just don't care enough to invest in our kids. But for the first time ever, we're doing that. We're investing, we're building new schools. It's going to have an investment not only in the educational attainment of our youth, it's going to have an investment, a positive investment within our communities. We're rebuilding our neighborhoods and parks. We have a new parks master plan. We have a new trails plan that we're starting. We're creating more home ownership opportunities. We secured over $4 million for a $20 million project in Old Allentown. Lauren Jagir is there. She's been heading that up and doing a tremendous job. This year it's going to start. We have over, 25 houses that are already acquired. We're converting them back to single-family homes. We're taking on these neighborhoods block by block. Because as one house could destabilize an entire block, one block could destabilize an entire neighborhood. But the reverse is true as well. You take one house on the block, you rehab that house, you'll have an effect on an entire block. That entire block will then have an effect on the entire neighborhood. We are going to take back our communities. We're going to change the trends that's happening in urban areas across the country and in this urban area, and we're going to rebuild our neighborhoods. We've dedicated millions this year to the renovation and expansion of our park systems. We're rehabbing and renovating Kent Park. It's going through an $800,000 renovation. We're rehabbing and renovating Cedar Beach. We're having renovations and expansions of our park system citywide, east, south, west, in Center City. Every park is getting a makeover. We're spearheading new recreational programs for our urban youth. And finally, as mayor, my job is to make decisions to achieve the greatest common good and reflect our common values, making Allentown a place for everyone that cares as much for the least, the last, and the lost as it does for the rich and the famous. That is why we set a goal last year to end homelessness in 10 years. This year we completed that plan. Through a committed group of service providers, we have created a plan to address this issue head on. And we're looking for ways this year to implement that program that no one will be left out in the cold. Now, I recognized early on in this speech a lot of individuals, but I want to recognize one person who every day serves as my greatest inspiration. That would be my wife, the First Lady of Allentown, Lisa Black. But seriously, Lisa has taken on the task, on many different tasks. She worked at putting together a whole on her own, a whole new park from McKinney Elementary School. But she has also taken on the task of chairing this important effort of homelessness, and has really done a fabulous job. And I thank you for your support and your commitment to that effort into this city. Since my first day as mayor, I promised that I would build a better Allentown by making City Hall a catalyst for change. And we have worked hard to fulfill that promise. And I believe in many ways we have succeeded. We have streamlined many of the processes in City Hall. I know Chris Ruth is back there. Chris is our Human Resource Director. Do you realize for the first time ever in the city of Allentown, I'm embarrassed to say this, but for the first time ever, we actually have an employee policy manual. For over several hundred years, the city of Allentown functioned without an employee policy manual. These are the foundational things that we have been working on over the course of the last several years. It took Chris an entire year to compile that and put that together. She's done a tremendous job. We have put over 300 individuals through customer service training in City Hall. We're streamlining the process. We're making City Hall more user-friendly. We have a new desk in City Hall, an information desk. As you walk in, you're actually greeted by somebody who can help you and assist you in your problems and answer your questions about city government. We are streamlining and making city government more functional. And we are fulfilling the promise that I made several years ago of making City Hall a catalyst for change. So again, I want to thank my partners, our dedicated City Council, and the hundreds of committed city employees who have faced the challenge of doing more with less and have gracefully exceeded all my expectations. But more than that, I want to thank the people of Allentown. I want to thank all of you who have helped us in so many ways, some small, some large, all important. And if we had any success, we owe all that success to you. Together we brought a new, pragmatic, nonpartisan approach to local politics. These first several years have been characterized by action, by purpose, and a strong sense of urgency, and of course, endless energy. But it seems the higher we climb in the city, the longer the view, the more we see that needs to be done. So we come together today, and I want us to renew our commitment, collectively, together. Commit to the task of taking this mountain 2 steps at a time, knowing that we must work even harder tomorrow than we did yesterday. There's a saying that sweat, as it turns out, is a very effective catalyst for change. And we're going to need it again this year. This is not going to be an easy year. It's not going to be an easy year for any municipality or any company. Despite the progress we made, we still have another year of very tough and hard decisions before us. But the tough issues we face together in these first 3 years have built, I think, the momentum that will carry us forward to meet the challenges ahead. There's a great quote by St. Francis of Assisi which states, "Start by doing what is necessary, then what's possible, and suddenly you're doing the impossible." Together, folks, we have done the impossible. We have laid a foundation for an Allentown for the future, an Allentown that we can all be proud of. We've made great progress together, but more work lies ahead. Tremendous strides are being made in this community by people who, like you, care deeply about our city, our neighborhoods, and our future. Together, we can take our partnerships to even greater heights and a stronger Allentown. We can have a city that we can be proud of. I know it's not impossible. I know it's not a task that's unachievable. We can have a city that we can all look back and say, we are proud of Allentown. We are proud to live here. You know, the philosopher Pericles, who's probably one of the first mayors, probably one of the greatest mayors in history, in Athens, said, all good things flow from the city and to the city because of the city's greatness. We were a great city. We're going to be a great city again. We have built the foundations to be that city. And even during these difficult times, we will have a city that we can be proud of. So let's borrow a phrase from Barack Obama, our next president. Yes, we can, and yes, we will. Thank you.